So today I have the fun job of servicing these aquariums. Make sure the fish are all nice and healthy and ready to be eaten. So the first thing I'm going to do is check the salt level. Now this salt level in these cold tanks will not be 100% accurate, but good enough. So the salt level right now is about almost 0.023. For the invertebrates, I really want it to be about 0.025. So this level is totally acceptable, but a little bit on the low side. Now the fish, we've got to make sure there's no bubbles on the arm, otherwise I'll get a wrong reading. So I'm going to go like this. It's still a bubble. So the salt level for the fish is about 0.02, just over 0.020. For the fish, I want a low salt. For the lobsters, I want a high salt. And then this one is fresh water. And a little bit of salt in here is a very good idea. It will help the fish and their body slime and their eyes and stuff, but they are in fresh water. So the salinity is good. Now, when you're topping up the systems, you're topping them up with fresh water, and then if your salt level is too low, you can add a couple of cups of salt and then retest it to raise the salt level. So I've tested the water in this system, and there's not really ammonia. There's lots of nitrite. There's not really nitrate. Very low pH and a KH of 5, which just tells us that we need to be doing more regular water changes. And I'll give the filters a good clean. Now this tank is in a similar circumstance to this tank. Where we're at is almost no ammonia, lots of nitrite, some nitrate, low pH, and a KH of about 3. So once again, need another water change and filter check. Now whenever you're testing the water with any of these multi-packs, such as this JBL test lab, one thing I really recommend is you want to have a vial for nitrate with a spoon for nitrate to test your nitrate. And what you don't want to do is use the phosphate spoon for the nitrate or the silicate spoon for the phosphate, otherwise they contaminate each other and give each other bad readings. So you keep your vials the same unless you wash them out well enough, and keep your spoons for the right one so you don't contaminate your tests. Now this particular tank here with the barramundi in it is a similar situation. Very little ammonia, lots of nitrite, very little nitrate. The pH in this tank is okay, and the KH is about 3. So a water change is really going to be in order, and doing a filter check. Now considering the very poor conditions that a lot of live seafood are in, particularly in these sorts of Chinese restaurants, this system is actually running quite well, and the quality of the fish all in all is actually quite good. So it's been a while since I've been here, and it definitely requires some servicing, but the overall impression for a Chinese restaurant, I'm pleasantly surprised. Now I've gone and put PVC, or no, conduit on these air stones, and what I'm hoping that'll do is stop the lobsters from chopping the airline, because that'll offer an amount of protection. Nothing is guaranteed, but that should definitely be a deterrent from stopping the lobsters eating or chopping through the airline. Also, in these live seafood systems, there is a little bit of nitrite, which sort of isn't the end of the world, particularly in the salt water, because the chloride will help to detoxify the nitrite. And I'm going to do a water change anyway. And you've really got to try not to use water ages where possible, because you don't want to really have any extra chemicals in the water. And what I'm going to do now is replace the filter cartridges which are helping to pre-filter the tap water. Now I'm very impressed that these skimmers are getting cleaned every day. They really need to be done at least twice a week, and every 6 months or so we want to replace those cartridges. I've just replaced them now. Now I'm just giving the glass a clean, but overall I am very impressed how clean the glass is, which is either how well it's being maintained or how clean it's staying. Now the lights are set on a timer, and the less the lights are on, the less algae you'll get. The more the lights are on, the more algae you'll get. And also in here and here and here are UV sterilizer globes, which need to be replaced at least yearly in order to help reduce algae spores. All in all, I'm pretty impressed with the running of this system, considering the state of many Chinese restaurants I've been involved in, and the overall willingness to learn that the management have shown here, I wish was standard. So with a cold water aquarium, you need these double glazed glass. If it's not double glazed, you'll get all this condensation just constantly dripping off the other side. So this is double glazed, but there must be some penetration point in the double glaze, because you can see a bit of misting inside the glass. Now it's definitely not on the outside, and it's definitely not on the inside. If I get a razor blade, it makes no difference at all on the outside or the inside. So that hazy is just a bit of condensation on the inside of the glass, which there's nothing we can do about. Not the end of the world, but it is a shame. If the glass was fully sealed and no moisture could get in, then there wouldn't be this clouding, which is not able to be sorted right now. So what I'm going to do now is a 90 litre water change on this tank. So I'm going to bring that down 20 centimetres. Now the way that I work out how much water I'm going to remove is I just grab my tape measure and I measure the inside length by width by how much I'm going to bring it down. Then I remove the water, then I know how much salt water to return to the tank in order to do a water change and have the right amount of salt left over. So this seems to be working okay.
Yeah.
But what we need to do next time for this one is to stick something here that I can loop this on. I need to bring more pipe to extend it. So then these can go down here and look nice and neat. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this tank is connected to this sump. Now what I've done is I turn the tap off, the pump that pumps the water into the tank. Then I drain some water out of the tank. Then I pull the filter material out of the filter in the water from the tank. Then I clean it like this, get any crap out of it, because what that does is keep all the good bacteria in the filter. What I don't ever want to do is clean this media in the water from the tap. If the media is very, very dirty, you can just chuck it out. If it's not so bad, we clean it in a tank water. I throw away this water. I then put the filter material back into the filter again, and then I'm in business. Tap water is your enemy. So now I'm just giving the skimmer cap a bit of a clean. Now it's really important what we wash out the skimmer with. We don't want to be using our hands, and we don't want to use anything that contains cleaning products. So a bit of media from the filter is perfect. But what you're doing when you're cleaning out the filter is this inside bit here. That's really what you're cleaning. It doesn't matter what came out. But cleaning the inside of this neck is what keeps it efficient. And you want to do that at least a couple of times a week. In this case, I got told it's doing every day, so I'm very happy with that. So we clean that up and we put that back on top of here. And we make sure the froth level is such that the dirty bubbles come out, the clean bubbles stay in. And I'm happy. Now I found a very big problem with this skimmer. Now look here, this has no cover. This should be blocked off. And because it's not blocked off, this skimmer is doing nothing. Because the water come out and it goes straight back down here and goes straight back into the sump again. So this skimmer has not actually been doing anything. So fixing this will be a very good thing. We've got to block that hole off or it's not working. Now, being the MacGyver of the aquarium world that I am, and the engineering genius that I'm not, I've actually just made myself a little end cap. That's because that's all I've got on me at the moment, but that's going to do the job. That's going to stop water going back into the sump and means that the waste can now get collected in here, which means that with that little piece of engineering genius, that will now work. And this is normally the point that I look on the ground and actually find the end cap, which I've managed not to do. So this skimmer should now work. If I pop that back on there, and MacGyver's your uncle, we've now got a working skimmer. Now we're going to watch this froth in the middle. If the froth in the middle stays white, we want it to stay in the skimmer. If the froth in the middle turns yellow, we want the froth to come out because we want to collect this waste here. Now if the froth is not coming out, on the outlet of this skimmer is a tap there. If you shut that tap, the level will come up. If you open the tap, the level will go down. So we do not want white froth coming out, and we do not want yellow froth staying in. So you just play with that tap until you get it right.